said key thing, AFRICOM as African understanding. And I would say that most people don't understand it for what it really is intended to be. And so there's a communications gap there that must be filled. And that can be filled by many ways. But certainly the State Department is a lead on public diplomacy and outreach. Certainly there's a role for African governments to share the word and what's being done. But I don't think once people understand what we're trying to do, like you pose a question. Are you opposed to increased better peacekeepers? Are you opposed to increased maritime security? Are you opposed to stopping or reducing the flow of drugs into West Africa? Are you opposed to on and on and on? And the answer to all those would be no. And AFRICOM is one small part of our government's activities in Africa aimed at addressing those problems because they affect both our partners and the United States. It's just, the word just isn't out yet, and I think as somebody said, it's going to take a while for that to happen. But I think
I just wanted to tap on something, forgive me. What I'm trying to say is that all the things that you listed, the better security, drugs, all those things, I'm very concerned about it. I'm glad the Americans are concerned about it. But what I'm trying to actually advise is that it would be much better if you consult the Africans right from the beginning and say, what are your security needs? Rather than saying, we are in Washington, we know what your security needs are, we designed a program and it's good for you. So I'm actually advising on a way to design the program so that there will be African feel like they have input, that they have ownership, that they were consulted. If you are concerned about my security, it would be good to begin by asking me, what do I think my security needs are? Rather than show up and say, these are your security needs, I have this for you. And by the way, I think the World Bank and IMF have been doing this for decades, where they say this is the economic project that is good for you. And therefore, their image in Africa is very low. And so I think DOD and the new administration need to take a different approach. This is the gist of what I'm saying.
I think there's a lot of that consultation happening at the country level between our embassies and the nations that are hosting our embassies. I think Lou from the Bureau would like to address.
2 points. One is in terms of consultation. I attended recently the planning conference for the Africa Partnership Station deployment this year. It was in New York. There were representatives from all of the African navies and coast guards who were going to be visited during the deployment. They were all part of the planning process where DOD was basically saying, what type of training do you want? What do you need? What are your needs? This was specific. And they were all part of that process of determining we want boarding training, we want protection of oil platforms, we want coastal fisheries training. It's all to say that I think that consultation is going on. On the issue of public opinion, let me give you a little story. When I was living in Monrovia, I'd get up early on Saturday morning, and I'd go out to the beach to buy my fish. I like to buy my fish on the beach. And the boats coming. So I'd be on the beach, and the boats would be coming in, and I'd be competing with the women who were trying to buy the fish before me, so they could sell it. Anyway, so you know the story out there on Monrovia, outside of Monrovia. But I looked at the fishermen, and I always say that I'd like to engage in conversation with people. So I'd say, hey, how's the fishing today? It's terrible, it's terrible. You know, fishing way down, you know. I said, why is that? And they say, they point to these big fishing trawlers off the coast of Monrovia. Well, many of them were Chinese, saying, they're taking all the fish. So we just have a little bit of fish. If I asked them, what do you think of AFRICOM? I probably wouldn't get any response. I probably wouldn't even know what AFRICOM is. I said to you, if the U.S. Navy could help you patrol your waters, so that ship over there wasn't taking all of your fish, and said you would have more fish, I guarantee you I'd have 100% of the people on that beach. There are a lot of people on that beach in Australia. You know the beach I'm talking about. There are a lot of people on that beach. I would have 100% of those people on that beach say, yes, we support that. Just to say that when people understand the mission, when people understand that's to protect coastal fisheries, that's to get those big trawlers that nobody can catch because Liberia doesn't have a coast guard, which we're helping to build now. Or that Sierra Leone, the one boat that Sierra Leone has doesn't work, so they also can't stop those boats from taking. I think if people understand what a lot of the mission of AFRICOM is, they will be supportive.
Can I just hop on to that for 1 second though, because I think if I heard correctly, what you were getting at is that there's a difference between consulting African governments and consulting Africans. Now, so I agree that there was a problem in consultation with Africans, with civil society. That's something our State Department is responsible for, not our Department of Defense. Our Department of Defense is not. Correct. Yes, but through our relations with African governments, we can help organize civil society forums and so on and so forth. But the Department of Defense, if you started holding consultations with civil society, everyone would lose their minds because, again, this would be the militarization of U.S. assistance and policy. But one other thing I just want to offer is I think there's a misperception about AFRICOM is not a program. AFRICOM is an organizational structure in our government. And it was a realignment of assets and resources for programs that have been going on for a very long time. Some of those programs are being fussed up. You're going into a couple other areas possibly, but this isn't all a radical new program. These are things that have been going on for ages. And so when we're talking about what AFRICOM is, it's, I think, from my own perspective as being on an oversight committee, we have to remember that it's not a program, it's an organizational construct, which it was up to the U.S. government to decide how that construct should work because it's our assets and our resources, our interagency process. And we were trying to make it more efficient so that we wouldn't have problems with the military doing one thing but not consulting with the State Department. Now we're in the tent. And again, as an authorizer and doing oversight of this, I actually think this is fantastic because for the first time, I, as not on the Armed Services Committee, but have input into what is going on with AFRICOM because our civilian agencies are involved. I think it should be, the opportunities that AFRICOM presents should be embraced. And yes, there are going to be misperceptions, and yes, there are going to be problems along the way. But I think people are failing to realize that there's a real opportunity here, and we should embrace that opportunity.
Very important. I think we have a question. Yes.
I just had a response, and that is that the gentleman was trying to say that when you say, what kind of training do you want, or what do you want our Navy to do, you've already predetermined something else. You haven't gone in and said, what do you want? So if you say, what kind of training do you want, you've already predetermined the fact that you're going to train. So that it's not asking without, it's asking still with a decision already.
I think it's every opportunity for a country, if they don't want to be involved with something, they have an opportunity to say so. I mean, if these Navy representatives at the planning conference that they described after partnership, they would be perfectly acceptable for them to say, well, we don't need anything, thank you. And that happens at the country level with our embassy and interactions with the host nation. Now, how can we have shared interests? How can we advance both of our interests? What could we do to help you? That kind of dialogue happens all the time. And then where our committee comes in is, Mr. and Mrs. Ambassador, how can we support the overall U.S. plan for assistance to a given country? So these kind of consultations are happening both between the U.S. and the host nation, and then between the State Department and the command in